When you hear about ancient Egyptian history, you've probably heard of their great military victories, how they dominated the known world and built great monuments to last all of eternity. But what if I told you there was another great African victory that stunned the world? A victory where an African army defeated a European colonial power when everyone thought it was impossible. Well, today we're going to talk about the Ethiopian victory at Adwa, March 1st, 1896. The mountains of northern Ethiopia tremble with the clash of steel, the roar of rifles, and the cries of warriors. Against all odds, an African army, led not by European officers but by its own king and generals, rises to face one of Europe's strongest colonial powers. What followed at Adwa would stun the world, rewrite history, and echo across Africa for generations. The late 19th century was the age of the scramble for Africa. European powers carved up almost the entire continent, enslaving its people, redrawing its borders, and plundering its resources. But in the highlands of Ethiopia, one empire stood defiant. Under the leadership of Emperor Menelik II and Empress Taytu Betul, Ethiopia refused to bow to European domination. Italy, seeking to expand its small colony in Eritrea, believed Ethiopia would be an easy conquest. But they gravely underestimated the unity, strategy, and determination of the Ethiopian people. At the heart of the conflict was the Treaty of Wuchale, 1889. In the Amharic version, it recognized Ethiopia's independence and offered friendship. But in the Italian version, Ethiopia was made a protectorate under Italy, a subtle trick of translation. When Emperor Menelik discovered the deception, he rejected the treaty outright, declaring to the world, "Ethiopia has no need of anyone, she stretches out her hands unto God." Italy prepared an invasion, confident of victory. But Menelik II called upon the warriors of every Ethiopian province, Amhara, Oromo, Tigray, Guraj, and more. Tens of thousands answered the call. Empress Taytu herself brought 5,000 soldiers, leading them with courage and resolve. She famously declared, "We shall fight to preserve our freedom. If necessary, I shall take up arms myself." By early 1896, the stage was set for one of the most decisive battles in African history. At dawn on March 1st, 1896, near the town of Adwa, the Italian army, 17,000 strong, armed with modern rifles and artillery, marched forward. But they faced an Ethiopian force more than 100,000 strong. Armed with both traditional spears and modern weapons, purchased from Russia and France, the Ethiopians encircled the Italians with brilliant strategy. Ras Alula and Ras Mikhail cut off Italian reinforcements. Negus Tekle Haymanot and Ras Mengesha Yohannes pressed forward with devastating force. Empress Taytu's artillery rained fire from the highlands. The battle raged for hours. By midday, the Italian army was shattered. Over 7,000 Italians were killed, thousands captured, and the survivors fled in disarray. The victory at Adwa was unprecedented. It was the first time in modern history that an African army decisively defeated a European colonial power. Italy was humiliated and forced to recognize Ethiopia's independence. The victory sent shockwaves across Europe, proving Africa was not a continent to be conquered without resistance. Across Africa and the diaspora, Adwa became a beacon of hope. Freedom fighters, from Ghana to South Africa, and even African Americans in the US, drew inspiration from Ethiopia's triumph. In the aftermath of Adwa, Ethiopia's international standing soared. European powers who had dismissed Ethiopia as a potential threat now courted Menelik's alliance. He played these external relations skillfully, further consolidating his gains from Adwa. However, the true significance of Adwa extended beyond Ethiopia's borders. It inspired a continent. At a time when European armies seemed invincible, the Ethiopians had not only held their ground, they had triumphed. The news of Adwa echoed through the hearts of Africans everywhere, igniting a sense of pride and possibility. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of Africa and its people, a spirit that would continue to inspire generations of freedom fighters. So remember the Battle of Adwa. Let its echoes inspire you, and know that Africa's story is not just about pain and suffering, but also about courage, resilience, and victory. And if you want to know more about Africa's amazing history, Then subscribe to Africa from the Roots and Other Stories, where the hidden chapters of our past come alive. Until next time, stay curious, stay proud, and remember, Africa is watching.